Hello everyone, my name is David Solorzano and I'm very happy to be here with you today. The purpose of this video is to fully explain the purpose of a project plan, more specifically for this project, which is a substructure repair and rehabilitation for one of the bridges here in Indiana. The purpose of this plan is mainly to inform stakeholders about the whole purpose of the project, provide some additional information that might be necessary and helpful for them to understand the responsibilities of each one, the uh, authority that some stakeholders may have, and also the importance of this project and the effect that it would have to the taxpayers or those who drive and use this bridge often. During this video, I will fully talk about the project purpose, some of the project details, some of the alternatives that are being used, and along with this project chart, I will also introduce some information concerning milestones, cost-benefit analysis, work breakdown structure, the risk registry, budget schedule, and project communication matrix, among other things. Without any further ado, I will proceed with the first part, which is the project chart. The project chart will contain some essential information, such as executive summary, the project purpose, and also project details that might be necessary. I'd like to mention that the state of Indiana has approximately 18,000 bridges on its public roads and streets, and over 5,500 are part of the state highway system. It's important for us to understand that there are different criteria and ways to determine which bridges needs to be repaired or rehabilitated, and this being one of the bridges selected for rehabilitation in this fiscal year. I would like to explain a little bit more about the project details. So this substructure repair is pretty much everything under the upper part of the bridge, and the substructure transfer the load of the weight to the foundation. And it's very important for us to ensure that the structure is on a good and stable condition due to the risk that it might represent for those who utilize this bridge often. It currently has a rating of 4, and the purpose of this rehabilitation is to improve that rating. It's important to know that the INDOT, or the Indiana Department of Transportation, bridge management system are the ones that determine the current state of the bridges and the need to improve it based on different studies, different methods they have to understand and rehabilitate bridges, and understanding any other bridges that might be also in the list to be improved. As you can see, this project plan will contain a full explanation of the many things that we're going to be talking about. I have also included executive summary, the project purpose, business objectives, project details, requirements, and also the scope statement. Some of the most important things about this project chart are the inclusion or the brief mentioning of some of the milestones that we're going to be facing or using to determine the progress, and also the impact that every single stage or deliverance milestone will have in the project. as I have specified here. INDOT utilizes this very specific way to measure progress based on different studies that have determined this as the best way to proceed with this type of construction projects. And I've also included some of the estimated budget, which will be breakdown later on in this presentation. I've also included some of the people that are involved in this project, some of the procurements that need to be taken into consideration, and also a brief explanation of risks, some of the completion criteria that has been determined from the beginning by the scope manager, designer, and project manager, and also a good way to define the project success. Along with this given information, I have also included some assumptions, such as how this project, by doing this work, it will extend the life of the bridge 10 to 15 more years to what it was expected, which is something positive. It's also reducing the risk to do more work and spend more money right now when we can extend the life of it. There are also some constraints which will be determined later on. And these are the stakeholders that are mainly going to be involved in the project. Even though not all of them are included, I have included the people that are going to be actively involved in the project. I've included my information, and to finalize this project chart, I've also included the part in which the project manager or the project sponsor signs the authorization of this project. This is very important because this is a statement that will help not only the project manager but also stakeholders understand that the project sponsor understands what has been stipulated up until this point. Continuing with the presentation, here you will be able to see two different parts of this project plan. The first one is the milestone list, or in other words, different parts of the project that will help us determine the progress and also the a more specific delivery method or a way for us to measure the progress of the project. INDOT utilizes a delivery method by stages. Stage 1, for example, is 30%, stage 2 is 60% of completion, and stage 3, 90 to 100, and it goes from there on. There are also some very important milestones that will be part of the critical path, meaning that the project cannot progress without those milestones being completed before some other milestones can proceed. And I've included some of those that are mandatory, some of them that are optional. And even though every single project is different, we can see some of these milestones repeat over and over. And that's something that as a project manager helped me understand better ways to proceed, better ways to achieve a more desirable success or to complete a project, which is very important. Something else I wanted to mention at this point is also the cost-benefit analysis. This is a graph that helps us understand a little bit better how much we spend or the way we can break it down on this project. How the money is not like a lump sum that we spend. It's a quantity or amount of money that we pay over time. And due to inflation and other different factors, this money could vary very extremely, especially after COVID, where prices start rising over and over, and even to a point where there are some projects, including this one, that almost double to what it was originally planned at the beginning. It's important for us to understand that budget is one of the main risks that we have to manage as project managers, and that's because we have so little control over something this important. The work breakdown structure help us break down big and important pieces of the work being performed or part of the project into smaller um, pieces so that we can more fully achieve what has been desired. And I have break this down in 4 different categories. The first one is scope, and how everything starts with a condition or understanding the project requirements and how it escalates a little bit into creating project plan or the scope at the end. I've also created a category for risks, and how even though this is more like a living document or something that has to be kept as updated as possible, the purpose is to create a risk management plan, and that's something that as project managers is one of the best tools we can use to make sure that the three constraints of the project stay as intact as possible. And those are the scope, budget, and also the timeline or the schedule. Also, we have the design part, in which the blueprints or everything that's being developed into construction starts from 0%, and it goes up to final plans, everything ready to be constructed. And also the budget, how everything starts from an estimate, and it concludes with the define the budget management plan. As I previously mentioned, one of my favorite parts about the project is to manage the risk registry, as this is a way for us to better prevent and also attack any type of risks that might present in a project, which is something very important. We as project managers don't have much control, but we can at least anticipate and mitigate problems if necessary, or even avoid them. I have selected some of the risks, who are the owners of the risk, and also the probability, the impact, and also ways to mitigate these type of risks. The next part of this project plan is the budget, and the way I broke this down is pretty much based on the services that are being performed by different parties. In this case, it has to do a lot with the design part, also the overall utility coordination cost, the maintenance of traffic, that's something that has to take place, the environmental portion of the project, along any other small and miscellaneous costs that will make this bridge complete, at least the project. To finalize this presentation, I would like to bring up the graphical schedule, or the schedule, and also the communication matrix. The schedule helps us determine the duration of the project, and a good way for us to measure the progress based on this. It's important to have some sort of scoring method so that we can keep track of the different stages or milestones, and also to help people accountable and responsible for these different milestone deliveries. And also the project communication matrix, to understand the best ways to communicate and to eliminate any unnecessary meetings or ways to communicate. I appreciate this time and opportunity to share more about this project plan, and I hope you enjoy this presentation. Have a good rest of your day. Bye now.